like scary movies or creepy movies or movies with a supernatural feel to them, which are the last 2 episodes in here. Each of... Oh!
Hey darlings, I'm Tam and this is the Toxic Sugar channel here on YouTube. I'm going to preface this video just a little bit and start off with a short story. The other week I hosted a game night over here at my place. And during this game night I put on this television show which is called Fear Itself while we played this game. This is one of my favorite board games and this is called Betrayal at House on the Hill. It's kind of like a spooky game with a supernatural feel to it. So having this on in the background was absolutely perfect. If you don't know what this show is, fear not. A lot of my friends didn't either, so that's why I decided to make this video. This is one of my favorite television series, but unfortunately it was never renewed for a season 2. Let me know down in the comments below, what television series do you absolutely love that really should have gotten an additional season before it got cancelled? Let me know down in the comments, and while you're there, please feel free to click on that subscribe button as well. I try to do videos every Tuesday here on this channel. It costs you absolutely nothing, and it only takes a few seconds of your time. Go ahead, I'll wait. Anyway, back onto Fear Itself. Once again, one of my favorite television series. This is a 13-part anthology. It's all about like creepy and mystical and those kinds of stories. They're all written and directed by different people. So some of the directors that have done episodes of this series, and pardon me because I'm going to be reading it off of the back of this, are John Landis, who did An American Werewolf in London, as well as, I'm really sorry, I'm probably going to slaughter this name, Darren Lynn Bousman, who directed 3 of the Saw movies, and as well as Ronnie Yu, who directed The Bride of Chucky. If none of those directors really sparked your interest to begin watching this, you may be interested to know that a lot of actors you may recognize actually did play parts in this. Until I started rewatching it, I did not realize how many of them I actually recognized. One of the people that I'd recognized, and actually recognized him from Fear Itself as opposed to other things. You know when you make like the connection between like different actors and stuff? I recognized him from this, but he has been in a little bit of a lot. And this actor is Clifton Collins Jr. If you don't recognize this actor, he has been in a little bit of a lot, including Star Trek. He was also in the Scott Pilgrim movie. Granted, it was a very small part. He was one of the vegan police. Every time I see the vegan police scene, I always chuckle to myself because it's such a stark difference between that role and his role in Fear Itself. The next actor that you may recognize is Doug Jones. This guy has been in a lot of movies that you will probably recognize, such as Hellboy, The Shape of Water, and even Pan's Labyrinth. Maggie Lawson is also in this, along with her Psych co-star, James Roday. From Psych, you will recognize them as Sean and Jules. The next actress is Elizabeth Moss, so if you watch Mad Men, you will most likely recognize her. If you don't recognize any of the actors yet, fear not. There are a lot more actors that you will definitely recognize, unless you've been living under a rock for the last 10 years. Next is Eric Roberts, who starred in a lot of stuff, including the Dark Knight movie. And of course there is Brandon Routh from... Routh? I don't know how to say his name, I'm just going to say it's Routh, who has also been in a lot of stuff. Most notably, he was Superman in Superman Returns. He's also been in Scott Pilgrim as Todd, the vegan guy. And apparently he was also in the television series Chuck. Next up is Anna Kendrick, who has also been in a lot as well, such as Up in the Air, all 3 Pitch Perfect movies, Scott Pilgrim. She played Scott's sister Stacy, and she was also in the Twilight movies as well, which I actually forgot about until I started doing research on this. Colin Ferguson is also in this show. If you watched Eureka, you will definitely recognize him, or you may just recognize him as the Maytag Man. Russell Hornsby, who was in Grimm, as well as the television show Suits. Cynthia Watros, who I personally recognize from Lost. I'm sure she was in a lot of other things, I just don't know what they are. I'm probably slaughtering her name, but next there is Camille Guaty, G-U-A-T-Y, question mark. Personally, I recognize her from Drop Dead Diva because she did do one of the episodes where she was like that crazy Wendy from that reality show. And I think she was on some straight-to-television Disney Channel show back in the 90s, but I couldn't find information on that. If you know what I'm talking about, let me know down below. I think they're like, it was like a dance thing or something. I don't know. Or maybe that wasn't even her. And then there's also John Billingsley, who was in the Star Trek television series. And apparently he was also in the movie 2012. Fear Itself was filmed in Canada, so there are a lot of Canadian actors in here that you may recognize. If you're a fan of Glee, Corey Monteith was also in one of the episodes of Fear Itself. Then there's also Mark Pellegrino, who's been in a lot as well, such as Supernatural. He was in Lost, and he was in Dexter as well. This guy's been in a lot of stuff, and until I started researching for this, I didn't even know what the guy's name was, but I definitely recognized him. That was a lot to say. This next one surprised me because I didn't even realize that he was in this show until I rewatched it on game night this past weekend, and that is Brett Dyer. If you watch Jane the Virgin, which I do, I love that show. He's the one that plays Michael Cordero. Apparently he was in one of the episodes, and he looks really young in this show because, granted, it was like a long time ago, but I didn't recognize him, except for at like certain angles you can really tell it's him. Oh my god. Next is Pablo Schreiber. He's going to be in the upcoming movie Den of Thieves, and oh god. I actually recognize him from the several episodes he did in SVU. Like, I cannot see him in any other role except for his roles in SVU. Well, role, singular. If you watch SVU, he was in multiple episodes. He was the actor who played the character who kidnapped Olivia, and she, like, beat the living patooties out of him, made him deaf and all that stuff. That one. Every time I watch him in anything else, that is all I ever think about. This video is getting kind of long, so I'm going to stop this here. If you like scary movies or creepy movies or movies with a supernatural feel to them, I would suggest, giving Fear Itself a shot because, once again, it is one of my favorite shows. I have what I like to pretend is an eclectic taste in television shows, but once again, if you are more up the horror, suspensey kind of route, definitely check out Fear Itself. I wish it just made it more than one season. It is an amazing show. Admittedly though, some of the episodes are a lot better than others. Just saying. Another fact that I totally forgot to share with you guys. I'm currently watching Fear Itself, and I'm watching the episode with Anna Kendrick in it, which is the Spirit Box one. I think that's what I had said it was on the video. I'm filming on my phone right now because my camera is dead, and I'm just currently transferring files from the card onto my computer. But the fact that I forgot to tell you is that the theme song is done by none other than Serj Tankian, who is the lead singer of, the former lead singer of System of a Down. The theme song is Lie Lie Lie, which is off of Serj's first solo album. I will link that down below if I remember. But anyways, I'm gonna go back to editing so I can post this in a timely manner. Referring back to the DVD set. So some of my favorite episodes from here are Spooked. While on a stakeout in a haunted house, a private eye hired by a mysterious woman is forced to confront the demons of his past. And then that one was directed by Brad Anderson, who did The Machinist. Another one of my favorite episodes is called Community. Community is about a young married couple move into a seemingly perfect planned community. But they find out the hard way that their neighbors will go to any lengths to preserve their twisted sense of perfection. Over onto disc 2, In Sickness and in Health, which star Maggie Lawson and James Roday from Psych. And honestly, this one, I think I like this one more so for the actors than for the episode itself. And I think it's because I always shipped Sean and Jules together, and Maggie Lawson and James Roday play a couple who get married in this episode. Anyways, this one is called In Sickness and in Health. On the day of her wedding to Carlos, Samantha receives a shocking note that reads, "The person you are marrying is a serial killer." This one is directed by John Landis, who once again directed An American Werewolf in London. Disc 2 is my favorite disc of the 4 discs that come in here because it has 3 of my favorite episodes on that one disc. Next is Family Man. A likable family man switches bodies with a serial killer after a near-death experience. Now he must fight from behind bars to keep the murderer from adding his wife and kids to his long list of victims. This episode was directed by Ronnie Yu, who directed Freddy vs. Jason as well as The Bride of Chucky. New Year's Day Director's Cut. A young woman wakes up in a post-apocalyptic world overrun by horrifying zombies and struggles to survive the day. This episode is definitely one of my favorites. Like, I can rewatch this one over and over, and it's not just because I like zombies. It is a good episode. This one is directed by Darren Lynn Bousman, who did Saw 1, Saw 3, Saw 4, Repo, the Genetic Opera. Okay, and then this next one is the one that Anna Kendrick is in. It is called The Spirit Box. When two suburban high school girls try to contact a dead classmate via a board game, they receive an unexpected message from beyond the grave. This one was directed by Rob Schmidt from Masters of Horror and Wrong Turn. I rewatched most of these. I still have yet to rewatch Echoes and The Circle, which are the last 2 episodes in here. Each of... I just dropped my DVD. Each of these discs is double-sided, so there's a side A and a side B, much like cassette tapes. And if you're too young to know what a cassette tape is... Anyways, you guys, thank you so much for watching. Once again, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And you know what? I'm going to ask you guys one more thing to comment down below. Have you watched Fear Itself? If you have, what are your favorite episodes and why? While you're down in the comments section down below, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button as well as the bell so you get notifications each time I post a new episode. Video. It's been too long since I've done YouTube. I don't even remember what they're called anymore. Anyways, you guys, I will see you next Tuesday. Have a great day. Bye.